Forget the speed, forget the goals, forget the crown, because none of it should have existed. The greatest version of Mohamed Salah was created the day he was told he wasn't good enough. Not motivated, engineered. This is the paradox, how the Premier League's biggest mistake became its greatest nightmare. They will show you the speed, the goals, the records, the trophies. They'll compress a lifetime of struggle into a 90-second montage and call it a career. They will show you the highlights, the celebrations, the smiling photographs. But they will not show you this: the fracture, the silence, the blueprint, the moment his entire destiny was reduced to a sentence: not good enough. What if everything he became, the throne, the glory, the era, was constructed on top of a single catastrophic flaw? What if the foundation of a global icon was not brilliance, but rejection? This isn't a story of talent. This is a story of engineering. Not of being gifted something, but building something. Of taking a rejection letter, folding it carefully, and reshaping it into a declaration of war. Welcome to the vault. Today we open the file on football's greatest paradox: the making of a king from the ashes of a verdict. To understand the machine, you must first understand its fuel. And that fuel doesn't begin in a stadium. It begins in a place most people will never hear about. Basyoun, Egypt. A small town where the earth feels close to your feet and the sky feels impossibly far away. A place where big dreams don't have the luxury of echoing. They must fight to even survive. For Mohamed Salah, football wasn't a hobby, or a pastime, or a childhood fantasy. It was physics. It was propulsion. It was the only force powerful enough to break the gravitational pull of circumstance. His academy wasn't a polished facility with manicured pitches and nutrition plans. It was a 4-hour bus ride, every single day. From Basyoun to Cairo, to El Mokhaloun. A journey so long and so draining that most kids would quit before they even reached training. But Salah didn't see it as a ride. He saw it as a ritual. He was learning something far more valuable than tactics or technique. He was learning endurance. He was learning sacrifice. He was learning what it meant to pursue something with an obsession that ignores fatigue, distance, time, and doubt. While other young players were mastering stepovers and flicks, Salah was mastering survival. His first training sessions weren't about positioning or passing patterns. They were about choosing to keep going day after day, even when life made it difficult. His first touch wasn't just on the ball, it was on reality. A reality in which nothing, absolutely nothing, would be handed to him. Everything would be earned, one exhausting mile at a time. But the prophecy of what was to come wasn't spoken in Egypt. It was whispered somewhere colder, somewhere quieter, somewhere drenched in Swiss rain. FC Basel, a stepping stone that most players treat as a temporary passport stamp. Salah treated it as a proving ground, a testing chamber. At Basel, the skinny winger didn't just adapt, he accelerated. He didn't merely impress, he disrupted. Against Tottenham in the Europa League, he delivered one of the clearest previews of what would one day terrorize the Premier League. He didn't just score a goal, he broke a system. He attacked spaces other players didn't see, moved at speeds that forced defenders to panic, and executed with an icy calmness that revealed the truth. This wasn't a player riding momentum. This was a player running calculations. Europe saw pace, but, the real weapon was the mindset forged on those long Egyptian bus rides, the ability to outlast, to outwork, to outthink. He wasn't simply arriving at opportunities, he was creating them. He wasn't just in Switzerland, he was already mentally preparing for the next leap. And the next leap arrived. The Premier League, Chelsea, Jose Mourinho, the bright lights, the velvet suit of destiny. This was supposed to be the arrival, the coronation, the final chapter of the fairy tale. Instead, it became the fracture point. Mourinho is a collector of soldiers, not sprinters. In his system, a winger needs more than speed. He needs discipline, physical dominance, tactical obedience. Chelsea didn't need a raw blade, they needed a sharpened sword. Salah, at that time, was velocity with minimal armor. Explosive, yeah, but not yet fortified. The verdict came quickly, brutally, and publicly. Not physical enough, not tactically ready. A luxury player. The words stuck to him like glue. In football, labels are more dangerous than injuries. They seep into perception, into opportunity, into the narrative surrounding you. And the label Salah received was lethal. Chelsea flop. Most careers do not survive this. The Premier League is the most unforgiving judge of character. When it stamps your file with failure, it rarely bothers to reassess. But remember the fuel. Remember the boy who used to spend 8 hours a day on the road just to participate. Remember the mind that had been trained not to quit, but to adapt. The loan to Fiorentina wasn't a demotion. It was relocation to a laboratory. Italy, the home of tactical architects, saw something different. They didn't see a sprinter who couldn't fit into a system. They saw a prototype that simply hadn't been completed yet. Fiorentina gave him freedom, Roma gave him structure, and Luciano Spalletti, a professor of football, began the reconstruction. Watch the upgrades one by one, his core strengthening, his balance improving, his touch softening, his awareness widening, his decision-making accelerating. Serie A did not fix Salah, they refined him. They added layers, functions, modules. They took a raw, straight-line weapon and transformed him into a multi-dimensional machine. Chelsea had discarded version 1.0. Italy built version 3.0. Then came August 2017, the return, Liverpool. But you know, the important thing is not the shirt he wore, it's the expression he carried. There was no desperation, no eagerness to prove himself, only calculation. Cold, purposeful, unblinking calculation. He wasn't back to redeem himself, he was back to execute. And the moment he stepped into Jurgen Klopp's system, it was like plugging a supercomputer into a power grid. Liverpool's high-press, fast-break football wasn't just suited to Salah, it was engineered for the type of player he had become. Chaos football meets chaos executor. The record, 32 Premier League goals, wasn't merely a number, it was a correction. It was the Premier League updating itself. Every goal was a message typed in bold, stamped with fire, recalculating, recalculating, recalculating. But the masterpiece, the thesis, the doctoral defense of his evolution, came in the 2018 Champions League semi-final, against AS Roma, the very club that rebuilt him. Goal 1, pace, precision, composure, all wrapped in a blur. A strike past Alisson, his former training partner, as if to say, thank you for the lessons. Here is the result. Goal 2, the upgraded software on full display. Receiving centrally, shifting weight with a dancer's grace, shaping the shot with a poet's touch. A curl into the far corner so effortless it felt rehearsed. Roma had engineered the weapon. They just never imagined they'd be on the receiving end of it. The coronation soon followed, Champions League glory in Madrid, a Premier League title that rewrote Liverpool's history. The man once dismissed by Mourinho was now forcing Mourinho himself to craft a new verdict. He is a fantastic, fantastic player. The flop file was permanently deleted. The King program was running the league's operating system. And yet, this is not where the story ends. Because Salah's architecture rejects finality, his programming does not allow for complacency. Once he conquered the mountain, he did not plant a flag. He built a fortress. The flaw that once haunted him, that burning, almost painful urge to prove people wrong, did not evaporate with success. It mutated. It became something higher, something more enduring. He was no longer competing with doubters. He was competing with time itself, with biology, with decline, with the next generation. When Erling Haaland arrived like a meteor from another dimension, he didn't just score goals, he shifted the gravitational pull of the Premier League. Suddenly, every headline, every conversation, every highlight reel revolved around this new force of nature, and the world wondered who would rise to meet the challenge. The narrative machine looked for a new king, a new face to define the era. Fans and pundits alike searched for the next icon, the player who could stand toe-to-toe with the league's latest sensation. When pundits whispered, "Salah has lost a step," doubts began to swirl. Was the Egyptian king's reign coming to an end? Could he still carry Liverpool on his shoulders, or was his time at the top fading? His answer wasn't a tweet, a press conference, or a flashy statement. Instead, Salah let his actions speak, channeling every doubt into fuel for his relentless drive. It was another 25-goal season. When teams doubled him, he evolved. When attackers age, they usually slow down. Salah didn't slow. He shifted. He adapted his game, finding new ways to break through defenses, always staying one step ahead of his rivals. He became the conductor instead of the executor, orchestrating Liverpool's attack with vision and intelligence, dictating the tempo and flow of every move. A creator as lethal as a scorer. Liverpool's attacking singularity. Salah's reinvention wasn't just survival, it was evolution, proving that true greatness is about adapting, thriving, and leading in new ways. He bent time to his will, moving with a grace and urgency that seemed to defy the very laws of the game. Every touch, every sprint, every feint was a statement, a refusal to be bound by limits or expectations. When nature pushed him toward decline, he pushed back with reinvention. This is the paradox. Instead of fading, he adapted, evolving his game, his mindset, and his very identity as a footballer. He became stronger, sharper, and more unpredictable, turning adversity into opportunity. In ancient tragedy, a hero's greatest strength becomes his downfall. The very qualities that elevate them are the ones that ultimately undo them, leaving only echoes of what once was. With Mohamed Salah, the opposite occurred. His journey rewrote the script, transforming vulnerability into power and setbacks into the fuel for greatness. His supposed weakness, being rejected, doubted, discarded, became the core of his invincibility. Every slight, every dismissal, every moment on the sidelines only made him more relentless, more determined to prove the world wrong. He built a kingdom not because he was destined to, but because he was denied the throne. In the end, it was not fate, but his refusal to accept defeat that made him a legend. So, what is his legacy, and how will history remember him? Not just the trophies, not just the goals, not just the records. It is the blueprint he leaves behind. Mohamed Salah is football's greatest argument against fate. He is the living proof that destiny is not written by scouts, managers, or early impressions. Destiny is engineered, constructed, reinforced. He came from a place of wanting. In the small Egyptian town where he grew up, dreams were often outnumbered by obstacles. Every day, he chased a ball across uneven ground, his ambitions bigger than the fields he played on. The world didn't expect greatness from a boy like him, but he carried hope in every stride, every touch, every goal scored in the dust. He faced a verdict meant to bury him. Doubt was a constant companion. Critics questioned his ability, and setbacks threatened to define him. There were moments when the weight of expectation seemed too much, when the world turned its back and the stadium lights felt cold. He answered not by breaking down the door, but by building a palace on the other side. He isn't the fastest, he isn't the strongest, but he is relentless, turning every doubt into fuel, every failure into a lesson. He crafted his own path, brick by brick, with patience and vision. But he is the most resilient. When knocked down, he rises stronger. When challenged, he smiles and pushes forward. His spirit is unbreakable, forged in adversity and sharpened by every trial. He didn't become a moment, he became an era. His story is not just about goals or trophies, but about changing what's possible. He redefined what it means to be a legend, inspiring millions with his journey from obscurity to the pinnacle of football. And that is the secret we unlock here in the vault. The real treasure isn't just his records, but the journey, the transformation, the relentless pursuit of greatness against all odds. Greatness is not a gift, it is a machine. It is built in the shadows, in the early mornings and late nights, in sweat and sacrifice, in the moments no one sees. A machine built piece by piece, setback by setback, rejection by rejection. Every disappointment is a gear, every failure a bolt, every comeback a spark that keeps the engine running. And the most powerful component in that machine is the memory of being told you couldn't. That memory becomes the fire that never goes out, the secret that turns ordinary into extraordinary. If you believe talent is fate, tell me. But if you know that legacy is engineering, then you're one of us. Subscribe, hit the bell, and join us next time in the vault. We're just getting started.